Hey guys, Griff here from Ragsmuffin Gaming. Today I'm bringing you a tutorial about mouse acceleration and why you should disable it. So mouse acceleration, what is it? Really what it is an implement that Microsoft put into Windows. I think it started in Windows 2000. It could have been earlier, but definitely in XP, Vista, and now Windows 7. And what it does is it tries to estimate what you're doing with your mouse or with your computer, and it tries to adjust your mouse pointer sensitivity based off how fast you move your mouse. So for example, if I move my mouse from point A to point B very slowly, Windows is going to, by default, determine that I need to have more precision with my mouse. So it will lower my mouse sensitivity on its own. If I'm moving my mouse really fast around the screen, Windows is going to assume that I need to move a lot of things around, move my mouse really quickly, so it's going to raise my sensitivity in order to make it easier for me to do that. Now, in theory, this sounds like an awesome thing to have, right? But in first-person shooter games, not so awesome. So it really hurts your consistency when you're trying to develop muscle memory to get those nice flick shots, your sniper flick shots, stuff like that, down. It makes it a lot harder to do that. Now, I will say that some top Quake players do use mouse acceleration, but in Quake you can actually set custom values for that. It's very precise, and that's really kind of a different game genre almost from something like a Counter-Strike or Battlefield or even Team Fortress, which is those Valve types of games are actually my area of expertise. So in those games I definitely recommend it to be disabled, and I'm actually going to go ahead and head into TF2, show you what it looks like with mouse acceleration turned on, and then the next clip that I'll show you will be what it looks like with acceleration turned off. I'm going to go ahead and exit back out to Windows after that and show you how to disable mouse acceleration if you want to give it a shot. So guys, what I'm going to demonstrate now is what it looks like having mouse acceleration turned on. So if you notice, this is going to make my sensitivity a lot more inconsistent. So I'm in spawn here with a scout pistol on 2-fort. Basically what I'm going to be doing is looking into this corner here to my right in just a moment, and I'm going to put my mouse at the left side of my mouse pad and slowly move my mouse from the left to the right side of my pad. So as you can see, it looks like my sensitivity is pretty low. I only make it to that cabinet there where I'm shooting. That's really where my left to right is. And I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to move my mouse fast. As you can see, when I do that, I do actually more than a 360 there. So it makes my sensitivity appear a lot faster. So when you have acceleration turned on like that, which is on in Windows 7 by default, it makes it seem a lot more inconsistent for your aiming, and it's going to make it a lot harder for you to get those flick shots and those things that you're looking for. So guys, I'm actually going to show you now what it looks like to have mouse acceleration turned off, which is the setting that I personally use and have been using for a long time in gaming. So I'm going to put my mouse in the corner again. I'm going to move my mouse from the left side of my mouse pad all the way to the right, slowly. And you can see as I turn, I make it to this point right here where I'm shooting. So that's about what my normal sensitivity is. Now if I do that again and move my mouse a lot more quickly, as you can see, it's very consistent. When I did that before, my mouse went really more than a 360 view. So when you're really practicing your flick shots and playing a lot more first-person shooters, you're going to develop an instinct of how far your mouse is going to move with each flick of your arm or your wrist or whatever you use to aim. So that's why I think that playing with mouse acceleration off is a lot more consistent, and I think you guys should definitely give it a shot if you haven't already. So now we're going to actually move into how to get this disabled in game so you can give it a shot. Alright, so now that you guys have actually seen what mouse acceleration does and how it affects your aiming, I'm actually going to show you how to disable it. So there's a few different ways to do this. I'm going to kind of go into some of those, and there's actually multiple fixes and new stuff out there, but I'm going to show you what I do personally and what's always worked for me, and it's really given me great results. So the first and easiest thing that you want to do to disable mouse acceleration is go ahead and go down to your Start menu. You're going to go to your Control panel. Once inside, you're going to go over to Mouse, and then you're going to click the Pointer Options tab, which is right here. By default, in Windows, the Enhance Pointer Precision button is checkmarked. That will have mouse acceleration turned on. So I know it's almost misleading. It says enhance pointer precision. That's what they call it. You would think that you want that, but actually that's mouse acceleration. So you want to make sure that is not checked, as I have here. The second thing that I always do is that inside Steam, under my launch options, there's a few commands which I'm going to include in the comments on this video, or actually in the description, that you guys can just copy and paste right out of there and put into your launch options to disable acceleration completely within the game. So this works for any Valve game, Left 4 Dead, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress 2, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to show you the example of TF2. So if I go ahead and right click on TF2 in my games library, I'm going to go to Properties. Once inside, I'm going to go to Set Launch Options. So this is a place where you can put in a bunch of different commands that will launch whenever your game opens. So if you notice here, I actually have 4 commands. The first 3 are related to mouse acceleration. The last one is related to monitor refresh rate, which we can get into in a different tutorial. But for right now, we're going to focus on these first 3. So noforcemaccel, what that does is basically disables mouse acceleration within Windows inside your game. Noforcemparms, that sets your buttons where they cannot be rebound like by default by the game. So that doesn't really, I guess, factor in a whole lot to mouse acceleration, but like I said, this is what I do, and I've always used these commands, and I think that they work really well for me. They're very consistent, so I definitely have that one in there. And then the last one would be noforcemspd, and what that does is it actually sets the same sensitivity that you have inside it. Windows is the default sensitivity for your in-game CS, so it makes that consistent between those 2 functions. So I definitely recommend having all 3 of these commands in here. Some top players don't use this last one. I'm not really sure why. I don't think it really makes the game feel any different not using it, but like I said, I've always used it, and I don't have mouse acceleration turned on, so I keep using it. Maybe it's like a superstition, I don't know, but I use it. I like it. The last thing that I always do is I use this CPL Mouse Fix file, which I can also put a link to in the description of the video. I've always used this file. There's some newer ones out for Windows 7, like Mark C Mouse Acceleration Fix, which is supposed to be really good. But like I said, this is what I use personally. I've always used this, and mainly because I used to play in a lot of gaming tournaments, and it came on the tournament machines, and so I would use it at home as well. And to execute this, what you're going to do is just double click the file, and it will ask you, hey, you're adding information to your registry, do you want to continue? I do recommend backing up your registry just in case something happened. I've never ever had an error with anything like this, but I don't want to be responsible for that. So you would go ahead and hit yes to apply it. Since I've already applied it myself, I'm going to hit no in this instance. So basically those are the methods that I use to disable mouse acceleration. Again, you want to do this to improve the consistency of your flick shots and your aim in general. If there's anything I missed, or if you guys have any questions, comments, please leave them down there. I'd be more than happy to take a look at them and give feedback based on those. And if you like this video, if it was helpful to you, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe to more Ragsmuffin TV videos. Thanks guys, and have a good one.